Hello, students. I'm very glad to present you Mladen Tomov. He is our instructor for the course PMI Agile Certified Practitioner. And today you will be able to hear more about his experience, about background, and about different details of the course. Please, Mladen, introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody, and thanks for having me. So, a very brief intro on my end. I started with information technology professionally, like more than 20 years back, and then before that, I pretty much did that as a hobby. But for those 20 years, I changed different roles. I started as a software engineer, so I had this technology background, which I believe is very very beneficial when you have to deal with technology nowadays. Then at this point, of course, being a software engineer, my focus was on really writing the best possible software, put it that way. But going further, facing different challenges, I saw that what really delivers value is working as an effective team. So this at the same time, my company, I'm at SAP, so I work for SAP at this time. They introduced Agile, so I started to work as a Scrum Master of my team and then other teams. So my focus was really on helping the teams being effective. And at some point, I saw that, of course, having an effective team is not really enough. It's really very important to make sure that this effective team is working on what customers are really waiting for, what the market is waiting for. So I stepped into the role of product owner, and after that, product manager, working with customers, clarifying requirements. After that, I have a couple of years as a manager of a company, building the whole culture, structure of a company, the team. And for the last 4 years, my main focus is my own consulting companies, where I help customers to have predictable deliveries, happy customers, engaged colleagues, and those colleagues are constantly improving their own way of work. So this is what I'm currently after, and I'm also partnering with New Horizons on this project, on this initiative, so that I'm really happy to share my knowledge as part of this course. It's something that we do together with New Horizons for a couple of years in different countries. So really looking forward for meeting all the students.
Thank you, Mladen. How do you think is this course popular nowadays?
I definitely think it is, and I see that in the course and also on the demand and the questions that people ask, or a bit more factual. I think it's still the fastest growing PMI certification, PMI ACP, and this is. There are reasons for that. As we're going to talk about, combines different areas, and Agile is something that customers are looking more and more, and it becomes more and more popular. So, the course is popular.
What about the demand? How do you think is the demand for such professional high or low or rising?
Oh, I see that rising. I see that rising, and there are different reasons for that. One, of course, is the predominant usage of Agile methodologies in the IT field in general. But what I see is that it's also expanding to other roles and other domains of work, other industries, not just IT. So customers, the companies, will need someone to really guide them, to support them in this journey, and such professionals are really a great asset for each and every company.
Mm-hmm. Let's now dive a bit more in the details about the course. What topics will be covered during the course? What practical exercises it will include?
Probably just a step back. you can find different courses nowadays in the field. I mean, if you open in the internet, if you take a look on that, and you may see a lot of different very focused courses on like team effectiveness, how to be a scrum master, how to be a product owner, stuff like that. But what's really missing, and where I believe that PMI did a great job, is really a structured approach which gives a bit more, holistic overview on all those methodologies and how they work together, and how they work together in order to achieve certain business outcomes, and how they work together in order to clarify for you as a professional, as project manager, for example, what's expected from you in order to be effective in that role. So as I said, PMI did a great job. They synthesized, knowledge from a very good resources in the field, and basically they outlined 7 domains which we focused on during the course, and the certification is of course focused on that. So agile mindset, what really means to be agile, what means to be able to take different decisions and act based on that, and then change your plan to the course of action as probably something else changes. Value-driven delivery, how to basically deliver value to your customers, and how you can organize that in order to, let's say, not deliver everything on one big bang, but give some transparency and some deliverables in between, so that you can achieve get some feedback and probably adapt the course of action team. We really focus a lot on what actually is team, and how can you support your team to be really high performant. So team performance is again a domain that PMI consider important, and we also focus a lot of our efforts on that. Stakeholder management, and I believe this is something that a lot of your potential students struggle day in, day out, like how to engage different groups of stakeholders in a really efficient way and effective way, so that, for example, you onboard your executive, but you don't ask for too much time, and also you collaborate with the audience, with your potential customers, and to give them some good reasons, why they should consider your product or project or everything that is currently existing. Adaptive planning, which is another domain focused on how we plan, and we spend a lot of time on that in the course, because basically this is a question I receive quite often from the students in the beginning. That we don't want to plan everything in advance, but we would like to learn how to actually plan in an effective way, because we should be able to do that to our project. Problem detection, problem resolution. This is another domain that PMI outlines. So what happening when the things go sideways? How should we be on top of that? How we should resolve that? And more important, how we should do that with the engagement of our team, with engagement of our stakeholders, so that we take the best possible decision and learn from it. And last but not least, the topic of continuous improvement is at the end, this is what the agility is, right? We should be able to improve step by step our way of work, our project, our products, the technology we use, and so on. So those are the different domains that PMI outlines. Still, on the practical side, the way we learn during the course is that we basically combine the theory, the theory that you should know, but the best way to also memorize that is, as we're adults, we cannot just like read it, and probably some of you have read that before. I mean, some of the materials might not be so new for you. But the way we work in order to really understand that is that we do different exercises, also in a small group, different discussions, so that you learn not just from what I said, let's say on the exam, but also from the collaboration with the other students that you're part of the same group. We do a lot of activities. We have like a simulation, so it's like a project with start, in the very beginning. So you think like project canvas, you outline different personas, then we do some planning, estimation, prioritization. So different techniques are actually not just taught but experienced. And one of the good things I believe is that at least some of the students in the previous groups we mentioned that a couple of times. They said, well, we can pretty much take those templates and after that as a takeaway from the course also apply them with our companies, our teams. So, I mean, this is another great way to use this material. And of course, the other thing is, and we're going to talk about that later for sure, but there are some questions that are, and we do that in a very funny way, a very animated way, so that people collaborate together and like a small competition in a funny way, where you receive similar questions to those that are later on asked on the exam, so that you can also get some sense of what the questions on exams are, but also you like additionally reflect on this material that we discussed. So might be the best way that if I can just share my screen and show.
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to ask you, can you share your screen and show some tools?
Yeah.
To engage our students.
Yeah, sure. Let me make it a bit more. So what you're going to see, and I will walk you through that. Just give me a sec to share my screen. Yeah, let me know once you see that.
Yes.
So can you see it?
Yeah, we see. I see.
Great. So, in a nutshell, what you see here is that we have, as I said, different rooms, small groups that work together. So we have at the end everything that the different groups create, and all those ideas are being discussed. So, as I said, here we start typically with some. For some introduction to different tools. So if you're not familiar with any of those, that's fine. We have enough time to give you a short intro, and there is really a very small learning curve on most of those. They're chosen that way for a reason. So different preparation materials that are actually really helpful. We of course discuss expectations at the beginning. Here we have like parking plots for different questions, different resources, which we exchange both here and typically in a Facebook group that we create for these courses. So as I said, we start with different exercises. Basically, some of those are intended to help you memorize the content, persona, like how we teach customer centricity, project canvas. So as I said, we work on like a project. So in your group, you have to create a project. So we start with an overview of that, and then of course deep dive when it comes to different steps. Like for example, make a story map. We discuss different roles when it comes to agile way of work. Here you can see, so-called team canvas exercise where we work with the students to help them to understand how they can make their teams more effective, different facilitation technique, retrospectives, and so on. Probably, we may introduce different exercises next time, but at the end of the day, the idea is that this is supposed to be a very interactive workshop. So typically, the feedback that the students give, and you can probably reconfirm that, is that they really cannot feel how the time passes. I mean, when it's originally, they say, well, we thought that when you say, we have to work on that for a couple of hours, it's going to be like a boring meeting or boring training. It's not like that. So the other thing is, as I said, quizzes. So as you can see here, we see different questions. So we organize that in some activities. So I give some questions related with the material that we, let's say, discussed last time, and then we have this simulated environment where you where you can able to answer them, and then we inspect the answers and basically spend some time to answer the questions that, let's say, the people gave wrong answer, or clarifying why is that the case, and so on. So it's really very engaging, to put it that way. And there are also different discussions, like we start the topic, and then I typically ask a question, and we have like short discussion to basically get different opinions, and the reason for that is because we as a human being, as adults, we learn on top of what we already know, so we have to kind of relate all that so that you get the new information better.
Okay, thank you very much. It was really interesting, and I think you fired the interest in our students about the skills
I hope so.
And about the topics. How do you think, what should be the prerequisites for a potential student before he apply for this course?
Yeah, well, when it comes to prerequisites, I would say one will benefit from this course if they have already some practical experience being part of the project. So you don't have to be like a project manager, for example. You might be like a business analyst or other role in the project, but you should have some experience being in a project, facing different difficulties. Ideally, that should have happened in an agile environment. And the reason for that is because this is something that will allow you to much better understand the topics on one hand side and the benefits. So you'll be able to ask questions and see the practical benefit of what we teach in this class. So that's the prerequisite.
So as I understood that potential students should beneficially have some practical experience before attending this course.
That's correct. I mean, that's the best way. Mm-hmm. We have some practical experience, and that's after that necessary for the exam.
Mm-hmm. What do you think is the core benefit from this course?
Well, I would like probably to answer that from the perspective of a student, and that's the first thing is, I would say, the knowledge that you're going to get in those couple of days, the experience that you're going to create for you. Part of that experience is also meeting other people, and it's very logical that those people being part of this course are also sharing the same interest like you are. So you will be able to also discuss some topics that are interesting for them, and in this way exchange ideas and opinions and get a very I would say useful contact for future. As you can imagine, this is something that happens a lot. And the third thing is, if I have to outline that, I see that being really a career booster. It's, like an experience that helps you to create some motivation, some momentum for you. You sit down, you met all those people, you discover some answers to questions that you probably ask yourself, and that kind of also something that motivates people. I see the traction after that. I see that those people are actually growing. I mean, I'm not saying that they're growing just because of the course. I'm just saying that probably that might be for some of them the trigger that they need at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What about certificate? What kind of certificate they will get after successfully passing the exam?
Okay, so one certificate that they will get for sure is that they've been part of this course. So this is like a certificate for participation.
Yes.
And the other is that, and this is probably how we started, this is a great preparation for the international PMI ACP exam. right? So for this exam, you need basically an experience, a previous experience. You need, of course, to pass the exam itself, but also what you need is that, and that's one of the prerequisites, if you'd like to apply for this exam, you need a formal training on the topics that PMI expect you to know. And this training should be like long running, not less than 21 contact hours. So basically passing this course and receiving this certificate for participation, you'll be able to later on go on this PMI ACP exam with the knowledge you get.
Let's talk a bit about the structure of the exam. What kind of questions it include?
Oh, well, I would say the exam is definitely not trivial. It consists of 120 questions. And for those 120 questions, the students get like 3 hours. So it might sound like a lot of time, but it is not. I mean, you have to read careful to the questions and so on. Still, I mean, well-prepared student will take the exam. And it's what we work for at the end on the course, and also the people will read and will prepare themselves. So it's not so scary at the end. If you're well prepared, you'll be able to pass it. Each question out of those 120 questions is based on a certain situation that you might find yourself as an, let's say, agile project manager operating in such an environment, and therefore possible answers, only one of which is correct. So it's multiple choices, single correct answer. And as I said, the course is a very good preparation for this exam, as we cover the topics during, and also we have these questions that are very similar to the structure of the questions on the exam. So again, it's a good preparation.
Mm-hmm. How do you think this certification will help them in their professional career?
Well, I give you two the benefits I see. The contacts, the momentum you get, but still, I mean, once you get the certificate, and as you now know all these prerequisites, I believe that for a company that really knows what this certificate means, it's really a great, let's say, characteristic of a person that he or she has this certificate. What it really displays that this person has some real project experience. Person has really formal training on the good practices when it comes to Agile, and this person has spent time to prepare and really pass this exam. So to learn something about that they're being reliable and focused and motivated. So really, from a career perspective, it clearly demonstrates knowledge on the subject. And the other trend is something that I also mentioned. The demand for such a professional is really rising, and you can see that very easy. So it's something that will help you really to advance. And sometimes people associate that with going in another position in another company. I would say that even your own company will recognize your efforts and offer you some new challenges and opportunities.
Usually, what kind of job positions are suitable for such kind of specialists who completed the course?
Okay, well, I would say typically, project managers might benefit a lot. So I've seen Scrum Masters, product owners, to get a lot of benefits from that. And there is this, big part of the course is actually based on Scrum. It's a very popular Agile framework nowadays. So the person will get the idea about the different events, artifacts, the way they call them. A product owner is also someone who will benefit, discuss topics like value, prioritization, stakeholder management, backlog management. I've seen Agile coaches to also learn a lot on this course. But to mention one or two more roles in that group, business analysts, they also find this course like helpful to get a broader experience. But I see an interesting trend, and I see more and more people in leadership roles to join that as a good way to also have a broad perspective on or at least when it comes to Agile, and how they can work more effectively in that environment and helping their organization to adapt to this way of work. So I see also managers to join the course, and of course, depending on the organization, depending on seniority, it might come with different job descriptions or roles, but still, it's a very common trend as well.
Which can be the next step for the student after they take this course? Well, maybe another course or something else.
I would say definitely prepare for exam, and take it. So let's and that's one of the things that we learn on the exam. Let's stop starting and start finishing. So it's good that you finish it, basically take an exam, and I know that the project also offers some support for that. So we probably may elaborate in our discussion to the students about that. And I want to be really inspired and really to apply as much as possible for different opportunities and learning in their organizations. Of course, that might be like, as you said, sometimes another certificate, or say you can get some broader understanding on agility in this course, and later on decide that you'd like to probably learn a bit more about what the Scrum Master is, or what the product owner is. So you may find additional courses on that. I believe you'll be also happy to help them. So yeah, I mean, there are different.
Okay, thank you very much.
That you can follow.
Thank you very much, Mladen, for taking time to join us today. I think the interview was great, and a lot of information which is valuable for the students, and the information you just gave us will help them to decide whether to apply or not. And thank you again. See you in our trainings.
Thank you. Thank you, Nadezhda. Really, if there are additional questions, don't hesitate to, after you see this interview, you may always ping me in LinkedIn or just drop me a connection request, and I'll be happy to elaborate with more details. And yep, really happy to be part of that, and looking forward to the next training and meeting you there. So, yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.